Well, 2020 has definitely taught us that we need that rainy day fund. But what's the difference between a rainy day fund and an emergency fund? Well, in order to tell us all about it, Dave Sant, Cypress Credit Union. Hi, Dave. I mean, this year, let's be honest, we're all kind of panicking and trying to put some money away, aren't we?
Yeah, I think this year's caught all of us off guard in a lot of different
Yeah,
ways. And making sure that you have some of these funds set up can have you prepared for any unexpected days in the future.
100%. So let's talk a rainy day fund versus an emergency fund.
Yeah, a lot of times people use these terms interchangeably, and some people even think it's one, it's the same account. But these are two different accounts and definitely two different things you have set up. First, let's talk about that emergency fund. An emergency fund is something you need for exactly what it says, an emergency. This is an unexpected expense like, say a car repair or a home repair, where it's a decent amount of money, but it's something you didn't have budgeted. So a lot of times this account is, a couple $1,000s, enough to cover the repair without having to dip into using your credit card or dip into your savings.
Okay. Versus a rainy day fund.
Yes. So with the rainy day fund, that's more for the long-term savings. This is if, when you say saving for a rainy day, that could be heaven forbid you have to be hospitalized for a long time. You're not able to work or you lose your job, right? If there's a time when you're going to have a significant interruption to your income, that's what this fund would be used for. So all the experts say you should have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up in this account. So this is that much larger one, again, that you would use for any type of long-term issues.
Yeah. And, you say how many months like that. And I think some people panic and go, oh, my gosh, how do I save up that much money? So how do you get these accounts started?
Yeah. So if you want to get these accounts started, there's a couple things you're going to want to make sure you do. First, you need to make sure that you're getting liquid accounts. And what that means is these are accounts where you have access to the money when you need it. So your savings accounts, money market account, you don't want to tie it up into investments or certificates because if an emergency hits, that could be a lot harder to get the money out of, and you're going to have fees you'd incur as well. Now, while you want to have access to it, you don't want to make it too easy to access these accounts. So a good rule of thumb is to not have your rainy day and your emergency funds in the same, with the same organization or institution that you have your checking account or your loans, any of these transaction accounts, because the temptation could be big to dip into these to, help pay off a loan or, for just regular everyday expenses. So you want to make sure it's in a separate account, but you also want to make sure it's in a liquid account. And while you're at it, you probably want to have these be separate accounts as well. Well, what I mean by that is, a lot of places, here at Cypress, you have your savings account, but you can also open sub accounts. So you can have, we call them S1s. You could have an S2, S3. You could have as many savings accounts as you need, and then you'd name them for what they are. So you may have two different savings accounts, one that's called your emergency fund, one that's called your rainy day fund. And what that does is it helps make sure that you know where you are in terms of saving towards your goal, helps make sure that you're not dipping into that to help pay for, say you're saving for a vacation. You're not going to dip into that for your vacation fund. It really helps keep everything organized.
I like it, Dave. You guys always have such great information, and your blog has a ton of it. If they want more information, where can they go?
Yep, we got tons of information on budgeting and starting these funds at cypressu.com.
Perfect. Thanks, Dave. We'll see you later.
Hey, thank you.